Good morning, everyone. In today's session, we will be having a revision on all the topics of all five modules, and at the end, we shall be having a small discussion on last year university question paper. And the last session was about managing Hadoop basic administration procedure, how we can manage with the help of interface layer that we use like Yarn, and how shall we control Hadoop, and how we can use the other applications. So this is about the last topic. So the first topic, like if you take the five modules, module one will be talking about Hadoop and MapReduce. I mean Hadoop architecture and MapReduce flow. And module two will be talking about what are the basic tools that are related to one Hadoop ecosystem, like Apache Pig, Apache Hive, and Scoop. And the other tool which I discussed is OOZ, Apache Test. So these are a few Hadoop related tools. Apache Test, Apache OOZ. And the next topic is about Yarn applications, Yarn application framework. And the other half part is about, other half part of module two is about Hadoop administration. Hadoop administration, how we can control the set of nodes in a Hadoop. So this module. This is about we talked in module two, and module three, four, five. It is entirely related to data mining and its techniques, right? So module three, the half part is about BI, and the other remaining topics of module three, module four, module five. It is entirely talking about data mining. So it is the overview of your syllabus, and let us start revising from the first topic of module one. And the first topic of module one is HDFS basics. And in this file system basics, the things that which we have discussed are, and the first foremost thing is about, first thing you should be knowing what is called distributed file system. This you should be knowing initially. And next to distributed file system, you should be knowing what is called parallel flow, how the systems are getting parallel execution. And when I talk about HDFS basics, and the next term that comes to mind is HDFS components, right? HDFS components. And in HDFS components, there are two nodes, right? One we call it as like a data node, and second we call it as name node. So these are the two important nodes of a HDFS component. And next to HDFS components, we talked about something called block replication. And the next part to a block replication is safe mode. Once if I talk about safe mode, then I need to talk about fault tolerance. And once if I talk about fault tolerance, then I should talk about name node high availability. So this is where we talked about one more node called secondary node, right? So I'm not getting in depth about each and every topic. Just I'm giving you a overview summarization of the topics of all the modules. Okay. And next to this name node high availability, the next one is HDFS federation. That is HDFS namespace federation. And the next part is about snapshots, HDFS snapshots, which even we have discussed in module 2. And the next most important part is checkpoints and backups. So all these are the subtopics that which we have discussed under this main topic called HDFS basics. And further, in addition to this, we have one thing called HDFS user commands. So this user commands are how to display the set of files from my HDFS system, how to copy a file, of how to copy a file to my file system, like from normal to HDFS, how can I convert my file, my input or database file to my HDFS format. So this is about the topic one. That is the first topic, Hadoop file system basics. And second one, like running example programs. Sorry, running example programs. In this running example programs, you are not as the first topic you're talking about HDFS file system basics. You're not getting into those many topics. You'll be just concentrating on how to run a program which is that we have built with Hadoop. And in this case, we have discussed two examples. One example will be talking about the pipe program example, and the other one will be talking about Terrasort, right? And the other one will be talking about Terrasort. And in addition to these two examples, there is one more thing is called test DFS IO, like test distributed file system IO. Okay, and the next topic is about benchmarks. And once if I talk about like Hadoop MapReduce framework, so as the term tells you, like Hadoop and MapReduce, Hadoop is a platform where it will be allowing you to execute the programs that which is written with the help of map and reduce functions in Java, right? So this MapReduce is a programming language, or it is a concept which helps you to implement your programs with a set of inbuilt functions like map, reduce, I mean mapper, reducer, combiner, splitter, like these kind of functions. So using this, we will be implementing a program in Java that can be executed on the platform, that is with the help of Hadoop. So Hadoop is not like a single tool or single application. Hadoop comes as like an ecosystem with a bunch of set of tools on it. And if you're using Hadoop for any application, if I'm trying to convert my relational database to a Hadoop file system, to a Hadoop file system database, then I need to use Apache Scoop. Similarly, if I do some kind of thing with a semi-structured database, then I should make use of Apache Hive. So we have a set of tools which comes under in a Hadoop ecosystem, right? Which comes under a Hadoop ecosystem. And in this Hadoop MapReduce framework, the first and foremost important thing, whenever I talk about MapReduce, the next thing that should come in your mind is about MapReduce model. Okay. The next thing that you should get in your model is map reduce model. And in this map reduce model, we have discussed about the phases like split phase, join, and the two important phases are map and reducer. That is mapper and reducer. In addition to this, we have few more things called split, map, and combiner, reducer. Okay, so this is about map reduce model. So map reduce model process the things in a parallel manner. So when you talk about parallel processing system, at last map reduce programming. So in term of map reduce programming, the example program which we have taken is word count. So what I need to do is I need to count the frequency of words from a given line of text or from a given input file. Okay, and other example which if you take some other textbooks, you can see one more example like coming out with the weather climate. So finding out the present weather climate. So these are few applications which is related to MapReduce. And you can even concentrate on few more examples or few more applications. But in exam point of view, if you are strong and if you're good enough in about word count program in MapReduce, then that is more enough uh, for you to attempt the exams. Okay, since as per syllabus, this is the only program which is there in our module one, that is MapReduce programming, and it is more enough for us to if you concentrate on this particular thing. So MapReduce, okay, and MapReduce programming is the most important on topic of this module one. And in this, you need to a little bit strong about this word count program. And when you prepare for exam, like out of this five topics, what you can do is you can concentrate on either on the first half part or on the second half part. But make sure that you need to study all the topics. You should not miss any of the topics. It is something like if I get two options, like 1A or 1B, either I can opt A or I can opt B. And if I prepare in such a way that I prepare only the half module of unit 1 and half module of unit, in case if I get if I get any question difficult from the topic that I have studied, then it will be a little bit complicated for you in answering. So it is better to always prepare in such a way that whatever the question you may get, just give me a minute. Okay, so it is better always that whatever the questions you and the way that you prepare should be whatever the question that you expect in your exam, whatever question that you get in the exam. Either it can be a theory oriented, it can be a problem oriented, it can be a program oriented, it can be of anything. You should be strong enough to solve that. That makes you to be score more marks. I mean more than 80 to 90 marks. That is most important. And fixing the target to get just pass marks is not at all, a suggested way. If you're making a target to be just pass mark, if you're preparing in such a way that only to get pass mark, your outcome will be nothing. At least your target should be more than 95 to 100. Then that will be better. That is good. If you fix for 90, 95, at least you will be getting near around 80, 85. If you fix just for pass marks, then almost you are below the border. Okay. So this is the overview of module one. And among this, all the topics in module one, and concentrate focus more on HDFS component. The questions that what you can expect is one thing like asking about HDFS architecture or HDFS components, or some cases you will be asked to write about name node high availability or federation, and in this running examples and this MapReduce model and word count program. So these are the important topics of module 1. And next we'll be moving with module 2. So module 2 talks about Hadoop tools, Yarn applications, and how to manage Hadoop with the help of Apache Ambari and Yarn. Okay, it is connecting, it is interconnecting Hadoop, Yarn, and Apache Ambari. And in essential Hadoop tools, as I told you, Hadoop is an ecosystem, right? Hadoop is an ecosystem where it provides you set of tools and set of tools to use, depending on the application that you use. And the first tool that which you have discussed is Apache Pig, and second is about Apache I, and third is about Scoop, and next is about Apache Flum, and next is about Apache OZ, and next is about Apache HBase. So these are the tools that which you have discussed in this essential Hadoop tools. I mean, I'm just talking about one subtopic of this essential Hadoop tools and few commands related to it. Like if I take this Scoop, so Scoop helps you in converting the database into the relational database, converting from your Hadoop database to relational database, and where how to create a database as you create in SQL, how to create a database with the help of Scoop in Hadoop. So this is about essential Hadoop tools. And second about Hadoop Yarn applications. And here most of you made a mistake in internal assessment one. And in Hadoop Yarn applications, we have two things. One is called structure of Yarn applications, and second matters Yarn application framework. And read the question clearly. Once if you get the question paper, then start answering it. And even the diagram which is there for Hadoop, Yarn application framework and structure of Yarn application is little bit different. So try to focus I try to focus on the topic and try to focus on topic which is given in the question paper. Analyze it and then start answering it. Just once, don't just write. Start giving the answers with a blank mind. Okay. And third part is about managing Hadoop with Apache Ambari. And this is a little bit where you want to concentrate much more on this topic in this module too. Among all the four topics, the topic which has more number of subtopics and more number of substances, managing Hadoop with Apache Ambari, for example. Okay. So, in managing Hadoop with Apache Ambari, first the discussion is about the different views of Apache Ambari. I mean, what are the different views that you can do with the help of the web interface Apache Ambari? Among those views, the first foremost important is dashboard view, which tells you the number of nodes which is alive and number of nodes which is dead, and what is the application that is running at the background as like a task manager. And second is about services view, and third is about host view, and fourth is about admin view, and fifth is about views view, right? And so these are the different views which we are seeing with Apache Ambari. So basically, Apache Ambari is a web interface. It is just as like an user interface layer, which helps you to which displays the applications that you can control, which helps you to control the Hadoop application, which acts as like an interface where you can see the number of applications. I mean, the number of blocks which is running in the back of the machine, like which is executing in Hadoop. These are the views. And in addition to this, there are two most important things like managing in addition to this, there are two most important things like managing and changing Hadoop properties. So this is about managing Hadoop with Apache Ambari. And the last topic is basic Hadoop administration procedures. And here in this basic Hadoop administration procedures, the first thing is when I control my Hadoop system and how I can remove my nodes, how I can avoid the replicas, how I can remove my nodes. That is the first thing is decommissioning. Okay. And second is about Yarn web proxy. And third part is about job history, which helps you in job tracking. And fourth part is like setting container and course. Right. This is most important in this topic. Setting container and course. And next part is once if I talk about the course, I need to talk about how we are managing those jobs, managing yon jobs. Okay. And once if I complete all these things, and the last will be how I can control, I mean setting a map reduce properties, setting map reduce properties. Okay. So this is the topics overview of module 2. And among these two topics, I mean, when I talk about in exam point of view, how I should prepare for exam from this particular topic, what are the questions that I can expect from this module is, for example, you may be asked to explain about few basic commands that you use with Scoop or the purpose of Scoop, or it can be like comparison of or compare the features of Apache, Ping, Hive, and Scoop, something like that. or it may ask you, or this may be like explain the different views that we can do, like in managing Hadoop with Apache Ambari, or you can talk about what are the basic concepts involved in basic Hadoop administration procedures. So in this way, you can expect the questions from this module too. Okay, and now let's move for the next module, module 3. And when comparing to the previous modules, this module is a little bit easy, right? And it is not that much. Uh, you need not to spend much more time as like in learning module 1 and module 2. And the first and foremost is business intelligent concepts and applications. And here you should know about the first most thing, what is BI, what is business intelligence, and how we apply business intelligence in a data analysis environment. And if I do this, I should talk about BI tools. And once if we talk about BI tools, I need to talk about BI applications. Once after talking this, once in this application, uh, you need to little bit aware about the business intelligence applications. And there was a question which is there in the last year paper, like explain any four business intelligence applications. If that is the case, you can start explaining about customer relationship management. You can start explaining about finance, banking, medical, health insurance, something like this. Okay. And the next part is data warehousing. And here you should be knowing the most important terms like first you need to familiar about what is called data. Then you need to know what is called database. Once if you know about database, then you should be knowing what is called data warehouse. Once after knowing about data warehouse, you need to know about what is called data mining. Once if you know about data mining, then you should know about what is called big data. Once if you know about this, then you should be knowing what is called data analytics. And one more thing is, as I told you, like business intelligence, which is an umbrella, which is an umbrella under common terms like business intelligence and big data analytics and the other subject like machine learning and computational intelligence. All these are under a single, all these comes under a single umbrella. All these are like interrelated courses, interrelated subjects. And once if you know about these things, you can talk about these things like what is mean by data warehouse, what is data warehouse repository. And here like when you prepare for exams, you should be knowing about when you talk about data warehousing, you should know what are the design considerations required for data warehouse. And in textbooks, we have seen one schema called star schema and snowflake schema. So learn about that. And second, about data warehouse architecture and data load process. When I talk about data load process, I need to talk about the one more term called ETL. ETL. ETL stands for extract, transform, and load. I should talk about data warehouse design. Once if we move from data warehouse to data mining, I need to know about mining. So mining is like extracting the knowledgeable data from a set of database. So whatever the data that is required for me, which gives me a proper information or a meaningful information that I should be using, that I can use that uh, that that information can be employed in a business. Just give me a minute. Okay. Once I talk about data mining, whatever the knowledgeable data, how I am going to make some information out of it, how I'm going to apply in business intelligence, how I'm going to make some profit, some revenue from it. That is most important in this mining application. I should talk about data mining techniques. And this is, I mean, the subtopics of this data mining techniques will be the topics of module 4 and module 5. So the basic data mining techniques, there are four things. One is clustering, and second one is classification. I mean, classification, regression, clustering, and the last part is association rule mining. This is module 4. I will be just discussing about this once when I move to module 4. Okay. And once if I learn about data mining techniques, then I should be knowing what are the tools that are available to perform mining in my application. What are the tools that are available to uh, to do some kind of mining from the database? Like the simple tool is Weka. And next is about what are the common mistakes that we do when we start mining the when we do mining from some applications. And here, so when you prepare for exam, the most repeated question is some applications of BA. And totally there are around 9 applications in that. It may be like explain about the business intelligence involved in telecommunication, or what is the role of business intelligence in prediction of in prediction of like finance or marketing, or what is the role of business intelligence in healthcare, what is the role of business intelligence in education. It can be like this. And data warehousing, what are design considerations that are required for data warehousing. It may be asking about a star flag schema and star schema, snowflake schema, or it may be like data mining techniques. Okay. And here you will not be getting, I mean, data mining techniques, you will not be getting a very detailed problem for data mining technique. That will be in module 4 and 5. Okay. And this module 4 is the where you're talking about the complete data mining techniques, like decision tree, regression, ANN, cluster analysis, and association rule mining. And all this we talk about, all these are related to data mining techniques. And once when you talk about data mining technique, you need to familiar with two most important things called supervised or unsupervised. It is also like how machine learning algorithms are categorized: unsupervised or unsupervised. Supervised means it is already a trained data set, a well-trained data set, which will be having a proper label, which will be having a proper label. If I want to classify some particular item, if I'm finding some particular item, if I'm classifying some particular item, I need to know to which group that belongs to. So that tells me like to which group it belongs, so that accordingly I can categorize that particular data to that particular group. That is called labeled or trained data set, and that is supervised. Unsupervised is untrained data set or unlabeled, where you need to train the database. Okay. And when you talk about this algorithms, supervised is decision tree. Okay. Supervised is decision tree. And unsupervised, automatically you will be knowing unsupervised is clustering. Okay. So next thing is, so when you talk about decision tree is a subpart of classification. Okay. So classification is the main part, and from that classification, the subpart is a decision tree. And both this decision tree and classification can be used for prediction, or you can go for any proper, you want to make any certain decisions when you go take an application. We have seen one example like the play decision, whether the play decision can be taken yes or no. So based on the given attributes, based on the given parameters, you need to analyze it and then you need to come out with a proper decision whether it can be allowed to play or not. And regression. Regression is a statistical relationship technique which represent you which gives you some statistical information like R programming and ANN, artificial neural networks. In ANNs, we have two things. One is single neuron, one is multiple neuron. Cluster analysis, you have discussed about K-means clustering algorithm. And you should be knowing to solve a problem related to cluster analysis. The most important part of clustering is centroid. And before solving an application, solving a problem, you will not be knowing that how many number of clusters do you require to solve this problem. That is most important. And when you talk about association rule binding, the term association tells you that you're going to find some relation. Okay, you're going to find some relation. For example, if a person purchases milk, there is a chances that you will also will be purchasing butter or buttermilk or cheese, something like this. And finding the correlation between each and everything, that is association rule binding. And in solving this, we will be doing two things. One, the first and foremost, we'll be trying to identify the most frequent item sets from the given relation. Once if you are done with this, then you will be creating rules. Then you will be creating rules. So this is the two more subparts of association rule mining. And almost from module 4, you can expect only problems. So 80% of chances are there for problems. And the thing is, when I talk about decision tree, I have a problem. When I talk about regression, I have a problem. And only for this ANN, we don't have as example problem. And for a cluster analysis, we have a problem. And association rule mining, we have a problem. And mostly, if you are familiar with the examples given in the textbook, that is more enough even for external. And for your practice and for your understanding, I would recommend you to solve the exercise problems from the textbook and also to find some problems from the internet that you can solve those problems so that you will be getting a little bit strong on the a little bit strong on the concepts that is related to those topics. And at last, it is about module 5. And module 5, we talk about only about data mining techniques. But nowhere you're talking about how big data works in module 4 and module 5. Okay. So once the term relation between the data and big data is the huge set of data, which is enormous set of data that we call it as big data. And that conclusion I will be giving at the end of this session. And the first topic of module 5 is text mining. Like what is text mining is a part of data mining, and where you should compare the features of text mining and data mining, the differences between text mining and data mining. And here the one more thing that you have discussed is called confusion matrix. And second is about naive Bayes analysis. See, naive Bayes analysis, we have given a problem on naive Bayes analysis in internals too, but none of you have solved it. So try to have a little bit problems on this naive Bayes analysis. And third is about support vector machines. It is called SVM. Like if my result, my data set, when I separate a data set, if I get a relational model like this, then I can call it as a linear, right? If I get some curves like this, if I get some curves like this, then I call it as a non-linear. This I can call it as a linear sort of relation, and this I can call this as a non-linear. And this logic is same in regression, right? This logic is same in regression, linear and non-linear. So how to I can do this, and what is called marginal analysis, what is called margin. So what are the terms related to this? That is about support vector mission. And next part is about web mining. Web mining again, it is a subtopic of data mining. And the most important things about web mining is one is web content mining, right? One which you have discussed about web content mining, and next we have discussed about structure mining, web structure mining. Okay, when we discuss about like web mining and applications in web mining, even we can try to predict the user behavior. So in web mining, we can predict the user behavior. And the next talks about social network analysis. So here in the social network analysis, we are not going to talk about any social media applications like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp. So what is that we will are learning in this is what is called a network, what is called a social network, and how I can analyze a social network. Like how I can find once if you go for Google, if you browse something in Google like the best 10 institutions in Bangalore, you can see list of some list of items will be displayed as a as a response for your query. So in that case, one will be at the top, other will be at the next step, other will be at the next, other will be at the bottom. That is called like a page ranking. Here we talk about page ranking, even which goal is following. So page ranking, and you need to you should be knowing to find the highest rank, the highest. I mean the node which is having the highest rank and the node which is having the lowest rank. Okay, so this is about module 5. See, text mining, we talk about text mining, there is no problems related to text mining, and you should be a little bit familiar with text mining and that matrix and naive based analysis. Chances are there for a problem, and you need to know about that conditional probability formula. Support vector missions, less chances to get problem in this area. And web mining, we have web mining architecture, so you can expect that for 8 marks. And social network analysis, we have a problem related to social network analysis. And even if you know this, to solve this example problem, that is more enough for this topic, module 5. And now we shall be having a small glance of the previous question paper. Let me start with question 1. See, question 1A, 1B talks of 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. All these four are related to module 1. So as I told you, like you can you can get question from first half, or you can get question from the second half. If you're good enough in first half, then it is fine, or else you need to concentrate more about second half. But once if you look this, for example, if I go with the block replication, HDFS components, this is fine. Again, if you get into this first half, I mean this name node federation, it is again taken from HDFS. Okay, at least if it is there from MapReduce, then you can categorize the first half part of MapReduce, second half part is about Hadoop. But they were given like what first like what does MapReduce data flow. It is the last topic of module 1, and they have related name node federation. This is the first half part of module. Again, if you see here, you can see HDFS components. You should talk about name node, data node, and again HDFS block replication with an example. Almost you talk about HDFS components or HDFS block replication or HDFS name node federation or NFS gateway. So as I told you in this module 1, so these are the few questions which is being repeatedly asked in university exams. So accordingly, if you concentrate more on these areas, there is more chances for there are more chances to write your answers in a clear manner. And second, if I move to module two, here it is Apache Scoop and Apache Scoop import and export method, which we asked in even internal. And second is about Apache OZ work. And this part can talk about Apache OZ or Apache Test or about Apache Pig or Apache Hive. And second part is talking about how do you run MapReduce and message passing interface. And here you can talk about that Pi example, MapReduce Pi example or MapReduce TerraSort example or MapReduce DFS IO example. And here what is understand beyond distributed shell. You can relate this even relating about structure of yarn, but don't go for writing yarn application framework for this. Okay. And this is module 2 and as I told you module 3 BI for various sectors. They have given clearly write any four business intelligence applications. So it is given write any four business intelligence applications. You can select any four applications that which you think which fits best for you in answering. Okay. And second, star schema of data warehouse. Okay, so be clear with the star schema and snowflake schema. And what is confusion matrix. And on the other part, if you see crisp DM, crisp data mining cycle with a neat diagram. And how what do you mean by data visualization? This we're not discussing module today. So data visualization. So data visualization again it is a chart. How you can analyze the data set, how you can analyze the data in a diagram manner. How I can analyze my data set, or as I told you, like statistic or regression will provide you some statistical information. How I am going to convey those information, like to be simple, which will help you to visualize a pictorial representation of a given whatever that you analyze from our data set. That is data visualization. And here we have discussed about a few techniques like bar chart, pie chart, scatter plot, histogram, and these are few more examples for this data visualization. And it is talking about how is it important in big data analytics. So if we move for data analytics, how far this is being helpful in data analytics that you need to relate. For example, if you take R programming, so R is a programming language, which is again a statistical programming. So which can even handle a huge set of data. And with R, either you can predict or you can analyze the given data set. Once after analyzing, you're going to convey some survey in a graph, for example. Like once after completing this IPL cricket match, let me take IPL 2019. So from the beginning of 2019, I can show the prediction of match. I mean prediction of like chances of who may win, who may lose, and who may be at the middle. So that I can give a prediction. But after completing this, at the end of this, I can give a complete scenario. I mean, if for example, if CSK wins the match, so which made CSK to win the match, and what was not there with the other teams, and how other teams can cope up themselves to beat CSK. So in that manner, you need to provide the entire things. For this, we relate few more terms like predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics that comes under data analytics. Okay, and differentiate between data mining and data analysis. It is a straightforward question. And here, what is splitting variable, and describe the three criteria for choosing a splitting variable. So it is related to again decision tree. And this problem create a decision tree for the following data set. This is the exercise problem in your textbook. The and the problem which you are discussed is example problem. So you need to get to a decision like the loan shall be approved or not. And next, question number 8A. So explain the design principles of an artificial neural network. where you should talk about the basic principles of artificial neural network. And here it is not specified whether you should talk about a single neuron or a multiple neuron. So it is up to you in answering. And here, how does the a priori algorithm work? Apply the same for the following example. This problem was given in internal assessment too. I hope if you have solved it, it will be better for you even in solving university exams. And here, what is naive Bayes technique? Explain its model. So it is a direct, no problem. And again, SVM, no problem. As I told you, there are less chances of expecting a problem from SVM and naive Bayes. The reason is we don't have any example problem for this naive Bayes and support vector missions. So you may not expect, so you may not get a problem related in this two topics. And in the other topic, explain that three different types of web mining: web content mining, structure mining. So those things you should talk about here. And this is social network analysis. You need to find out the node which has the highest rank, the node which has the lowest rank. In this case, that is the example problem in the textbook, which is consisting of four nodes. But we have slightly little bit, we have modified this a little bit, like we have taken a exercise problem from textbook, and that is given in internals one. None of you have done it. Once if you practice it, I mean this 10b is well known to you. Similarly, just treat this as like a model and start solving the problem which is there in your internals question paper, question number one. So that will make you to solve the problems in a shorter period of time, which will be even a good practice. Right? Once if you practice well, you can solve the problems in an easier manner. And this is the glance of this question paper.